So what's the deal with the hidden power source behind the courage, the strength, and the ability of one of the greatest biblical warriors, Benaiah? Have you ever even heard of Benaiah? Now, his name may not ring a bell like David or Goliath, but hidden within the pages of the Bible is the tale of a warrior whose bravery was so immense, even lions shook in fear at the sound of his name. This isn't some fictional story we're talking about. We're talking about King David's right-hand man, a figure in the Bible who performed jaw-dropping acts of courage and loyalty that still resonate with us today. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, a valiant fighter from Kabzeel, performed great exploits. So I'm telling you, he was well known for taking down two of Moab's most fearsome fighters. And he also went into a pit on a snowy day and he killed a lion. Who does that? Most people would have run the other way, but not Benaiah. He didn't even think twice. And if that wasn't remarkable enough, how about that legendary tussle with the giant Egyptian soldier? He was as big as a mountain, and he was armed with a spear that was likened to a weaver's beam. Now let that sink in. That's a whole lot of spears. And all the while, Benaiah was unarmed. Did he back down? No, sirree, bub. He charged that giant, ran right at him, I tell you, and then snatched his spear out of his hand and used it to do him in. Now, these situations are not merely about Benaiah's physical prowess. They illustrate a deeper principle about faith, belief in something larger than ourselves. Benaiah was one of King David's mighty men. That was an elite group of fighting force, the best of the best. They were so important, their actual names of these heroes are included in 2 Samuel 23. Also known as the 30. Their bravery is unparalleled, and their accomplishments unmatched. So what exactly set Benaiah apart from the rest of David's mighty warriors? Well, obviously his fighting skills, but he was also a powerhouse of valor and resourceful. He was a one-man army. Now you might ask, what was the secret of his extraordinary skill and courage? Hey, I'm glad you asked. His battles weren't just physical challenges. They were reflections of his deep-rooted strength. Benaiah's exploits tell us far more than just tales of physical might. They reveal his quick thinking in the heat of the moment and his ability to maintain composure against overwhelming odds. And his depth of character that made him a true warrior. Underlying all these incredible acts, there's a spiritual lesson here as well. For example, in 1 Peter, be alert and sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of suffering. Now, the Bible warns us of our own roaring lions. You know, those challenges and fears that threaten to overpower us. Now, the Bible warns us of our own roaring lions. You know, those challenges and fears that threaten to overpower us. So what empowered Benaiah to overcome his roaring lion? What fueled his bravery? How often do we encounter our own giants? Consider all those moments when we face insurmountable challenges, be it work-related, stress, tumultuous relationships, or personal struggles. Well, Benaiah's story encouraged us to tap into a strength that can transform our outlook on challenges ahead. We can learn so much from his ability to manage fear and uncertainty. The basic premise of this story is that we, as Christians, need the faith and the courage to trust in the Lord and to give him control over our trials and tribulations. Another remarkable aspect of Benaiah's character was his unyielding loyalty to King David. This loyalty wasn't just about being a good soldier. It was about standing firm amid conflict and potential danger during a tumultuous time when David's son Absalom, his very own son, killed his brothers and very nearly succeeded in a coup to steal his father's crown. Now you're going to find that in 2 Samuel chapter 17 through 18. While many others chose sides, Benaiah stood with David, pledging alliance to God's anointed leader. Now that takes guts. and a heart dedicated to something greater than himself. Benaiah didn't just show loyalty to David as a person, but recognized the calling God had placed upon him. His commitment reminds us of the importance of standing firm in our beliefs and commitments, especially in a world where loyalty may seem fleeting. Why was he able to maintain and remain so steadfast? What was his secret? The secret behind his courage and loyalty comes down to this: an unwavering faith in God. From the very beginning, Benaiah's story reflects his connection to divine purpose. It was his faith that allowed him to confront life-threatening situations without fear, always knowing that he had an unshakable foundation that wasn't just passive. It was an act of trust that led Benaiah to accomplish incredible feats. And when he was faced with danger, he relied upon his faith in the one true God. So let's just think about the implications of Benaiah's story in our own lives. Although we might not literally face lions or giants, we all contend with our own battles that can feel equally daunting. The example of Benaiah encourages us to confront these challenges with a courageous mindset, rooted in our faith. Simply trust in the Lord. What if we approached our everyday challenges with the kind of bravery that Benaiah exemplified, shifting our mindset to see beyond the obstacles? And that can allow us to tackle hurdles that we may otherwise seem insurmountable. The story teaches us that true courage doesn't come from our own strength, but from an unwavering trust in God, who empowers us to rise to the occasion. Now let's take a moment to reflect on what we can learn from Benaiah. He epitomizes the power of a faith-fueled courage, unwavering loyalty, and the importance of recognizing our true identity. And our identity is what God says we are, not the voices in our heads that say we can never be enough. Now, these lessons challenge us to stand firm in our commitments, prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead, and to trust in the one true God to guide us. We may not be warriors on a battlefield, but in our own lives we can embrace the power of Benaiah's example, with faith as our foundation. Nothing is impossible. Benaiah's legacy serves as a beacon of hope and inspiration, reminding us that we too can achieve the extraordinary, if only we have the courage to face our lions and giants head on. So that then is the deal with Benaiah, the greatest warrior of the Bible. I'll see you all next week.